Hey everybody, it's Lars here. I'm bringing you OMAD IV, the quest for meat. OMAD, once again, stands for one meal a day. And why I'm doing this, I'm trying to just remain lean and healthy during this coronavirus lockdown where we can't go out as much as we'd like to. Gyms are closed, cannot get enough exercise that I want. So I'm trying to stick to eating high protein, healthy meals that will see me through this. So what I'm making this time, I have a beef brisket. I'm gonna make a barbecue brisket in my Instant Pot. I'm adapting a recipe from the Instant Pot electric pressure cooker cookbook. I've used this before for other recipes and had to modify things just to make it happen because I don't necessarily have all the ingredients. So this recipe, you use a lot of ingredients such as, brown sugar, molasses, etc., tomato sauce. I don't have that handy. Running to the store, a lot of inventory's out. So I'm using some Trader Joe's organic barbecue sauce along with some stock. You know what's really crazy is there's a huge shortage of fresh garlic. I can't believe this, so I have to go against my better judgment and use garlic powder. Why do I have this? I don't know. It must have been for a pizza sauce recipe I made back in the day. So I'm gonna make this by searing the brisket in my Instant Pot. You can see back there. So I'm gonna sear it, I'm gonna add the liquids, and then I'm gonna cook it for about an hour under high pressure, let it rest, and then you can slice it against the grain and have this wonderful, tasty beef brisket in about a couple hours. Okay, I've got the Instant Pot on saute. Here's my beef brisket. I salted and peppered it last night so it could develop and soak in that flavor. I'm about to put it in. Here's a brisket, Instant Pot, olive oil. It's on high for sauteing. I like to put it in like that. I'm gonna do that for about 3-4 minutes per side, get a good browning. And then once everything's brown, I'm adding water, barbecue sauce, onion, garlic powder, and I'm gonna crank it for about an hour under high pressure. Okay, I just flipped it over. You can see that browning. That browning adds flavor. It's crucial, and that's why I take my meat out the night before I cook it and let it air dry in the fridge. That way there's less moisture, less steaming, more browning. Learn it, live it, love it. But every 3-4 minutes I rotate it. Now I've got my onion. I'm gonna quarter it and slice it. I really like how well browned this part is. I'm gonna take that out, let it rest, and then add the onions. I'm supposed to add garlic, but guess what? There's a worldwide garlic shortage. So I got the onions in there, and you can see that browning in the middle. That's pure flavor. That's called a fawn. I've mentioned it before in other videos, but the moisture from the carrots and the sauce is going to pull that out and imbue the entire dish with extra flavor. Okay, so I've got the onion in there. I've got a cup of filtered water. That's the first thing I'm gonna add. Okay, so I added a cup of water into the Instant Pot along with the onions. The meat is still here ready to go in. So I'm gonna add I got barbecue sauce here. I'm at about 6 ounces. That's almost a cup, right? And so with an Instant Pot, you want definitely water or water-based liquid in there. If I put only barbecue sauce in there, it would probably ruin the dish because there's a lot of sugar in barbecue sauce and it would scorch, so that's not good. Adding garlic powder. There is a worldwide garlic shortage. I'm supposed to add about 4 or 5 cloves minced garlic. Don't have any, so I got some garlic powder, 2-3 shakes. Now I'm going to add the beef. Okay, the beef is in there, the sauce, the water, the garlic powder, the onion. Gonna put the lid on. Come on, voila. And then it's at 90. The vent lid is on seal. Okay, cooked for 90 minutes Instant Pot. You can still see it's bubbling. I let it rest for 10 minutes and then open it up. And it's very tender. So you can see this is my cake tester and it's going in with no resistance. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out and defat the cooking liquid. Okay, and here's how I defat the cooking liquid. You can see the fatty, shiny liquid on top. Fat floats to the top, you might have noticed this. and I just kind of do that here, that I keep my extra fat in and toss. You don't want it going down the drain. Okay, it's the next day. The brisket and the liquid have been resting in the fridge, cooling. Just makes it easy to remove this excess fat. Now the meat itself is fatting up. It's got a big fatty layer in the middle, so that kind of keeps the flavor in. And I'm just gonna take out the extra fat. I don't like a fatty sauce. I've got the sauce in this pot cooking over medium heat. I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. It's gonna give it a little bit of zing. I'm gonna let it cook down for about 10-15 minutes. Make it a little thicker, make it a real thick barbecue sauce. You might be able to see here, it's kind of runny right now, but I'm gonna let it reduce. That also concentrates the flavor, which is what we want. Then I'm gonna add the brisket back in and let it tenderize a little bit more with the liquid. You can all do this on the same day that you cook the brisket in the Instant Pot, but I had something else going that night, and so I saved this for today. So I added the apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna let this reduce for about 10 to 15 minutes, thicken up the sauce a little bit, and then slice the brisket and add it to the sauce and let it just all come together in this tasty, delicious, wonderful meal. OMAD IV, the quest for meat, will be a success. Okay, so while the sauce is reducing in the pot, I'm gonna slice the brisket and then I'm gonna add it to the sauce later and just kind of let it all come up together. So the important thing about slicing a large cut of meat is you want to slice it against the grain. You should know what the grain looks like. It's kind of like a grain of wood. And then at the same time, you want to use the proper knife. So what I have here is a regular chef's knife. This is great for chopping, slicing, dicing, pretty much 90% of what you're going to do in a kitchen. The knife you want to use for a large cut of meat that you're going to slice is, oddly enough, called the slicer. You can see here it's a much longer blade compared to the chef's knife, and it's designed for cutting in one motion. You don't want to hack and saw at it like this. That's what happens when you use a chef's knife. Think about when you're cooking a very tender, medium rare roast beef or something like that. You don't want to sit there and slice and let all the juices come out. You want to just one go. So let me show you. Boom. Like that. With the chef's knife, you go and you don't have enough blade to do that. You got to go several times here. And now you can see here the slice of meat. I cut it against the grain. You don't see any lines going up and down. I'm going to add this all to the sauce and let it all come up to temperature and then serve it. It's going to be delicious. I've been putting the brisket back in the pot here. The sauce is reduced. It's gotten a lot more flavor. It's all going to heat up together. This brisket's been in the fridge overnight in the sauce, but you can tell it's just kind of cold. It's going to really get soft, moist, and fall apart. So I'm just adding the rest of these. This will be my OMAD, one meal of the day. I hope all your coronavirus lockdowns are going okay and everyone's happy, healthy, and being nourished and well fed. You can see here, this one was not cut against the grain. I couldn't really tell, so I went and sliced and I went, oh, look at those stripes, those lines. You can see them as they go along right there. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, I've let it simmer on the stove. The sauce is reduced. It's really just gotten really tender. You can see here, it just kind of falls apart very easily. So I can't wait to eat this. OMAD IV, the quest for meat. So I made a barbecue beef brisket in the Instant Pot, very simple to make. I modified an existing recipe to use what I have on hand. It's a very good idea to dig into your pantry, figure out how you can improvise and make your dish and still have something amazing. So here it is. You can see the steam coming off it. I can't wait to eat it. It's very tender. I can't eat and film at the same time. So OMAD IV, the quest for meat, successful. Thanks. Please like, subscribe, comment. Love it. Thank you.